All right. So today we're starting kind of a new segment here on the show because when I was building Sheer Strength the first time, version 1 in 2013, I basically built my audience documenting the journey. And then when I sold the business, I stopped documenting so much and I started teaching a lot more and interviewing. And I love doing that stuff, but I miss documenting. So you are my partner on at least one of these projects, significant partner on one of them. We're equal partners on one, and that's Switch. So let's talk about that today.
Let's talk about Switch.
For those who aren't familiar, switchsupplements.com is our little fun side supplement project where we legit develop the best nootropic in the world that isn't drugs. You get like legit, if you're an entrepreneur and you work at a computer, this is specifically designed to increase certain chemicals in your brain that just make you feel like you're in flow. And it freaking works. It is fantastic. And we partnered up a year or so ago. And I thought we'd start by you telling the story of the day Ryan yelled at you.
Oh, that one. I'm trying to pack it in the back of my mind, but you're bringing this back. Okay. So which one are we referring to?
I didn't really yell, but it was the day you realized, oh, we're sitting like right on the cusp of something great.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it was a few weeks ago, and we had a regular Monday.
It was like 5 or 6 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah. And it was a regular Monday team call. You know, you just woke up. You never thought that something like that would happen. No, I'm kidding.
Making it sound like it was
no. I actually have the recording of that call, and I watched it.
The day that Ryan stabbed me in the face with a pencil. What? I never did that.
No, yeah. Well, you say it. Anyway, so we were just. I think how I called it is that we jumped to step 7 before we're at step 2.
Yeah,
and you're just waving that flag in my face.
The step 2 flag, or
that we are trying to hit step 7, but we're actually at step 2.
Common mistake.
Yeah,
right. I see it all the time.
Yeah,
I make it myself sometimes.
Yeah. So I was basically very focused on getting processes and systems and optimizing the landing pages and all of that. But we're actually like below 10 sales a day.
Yeah.
Right.
We were doing like 2 or 3 at that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe we don't need to systemize how to get 3 sales a day.
Yeah. Exactly. And again, just trying to think big picture because it's really fun. And that's what, you think you should be doing. And I was not.
And what do you mean by that's what you think you should be doing? What did you think you were supposed to be doing when we were doing 3 sales a day?
Getting 5 landing pages to test, having the team making endless amount of creatives when we are spending less than $200 a day on Facebook. The things that I was just used to be doing with other brands.
That's what Gary Vee says to do. Like I was on a Zoom call with Gary Vee last week. I asked him what opportunities he saw in e-commerce, and he said make 50 creatives a day to 50 different audiences and scale the winners, which by the way is fantastic advice. Not for Switch. Like not when you're doing 2 sales a day. Either when you're doing several hundred sales a day or you've got capital to test a bunch of things, right thing to do. But when you're a team of 2.5 and you're bootstrapping it and you're doing 5-ish sales a day, probably don't need to make 50 creatives.
Yeah. So how I reframed it is that why we buy is because we have confidence, or our customers need to have confidence, especially when we're talking about a supplement. And I realized that's how I interpreted your message to me, by saying like, we're just jumping too far ahead. And we need to go back to basics. We need to have 50 Amazon reviews. We need to have video testimonials. Like, I'm not sure where to even start. So I just, the first thing I did was to plug, and I don't know why that was the first step, but it was to plug the Switch customer support email to my phone and just going through all the emails that people are sending us. And the most common thing that I saw was that the people who are not buying are people who are not confident in what we have to offer or what they will put in their body.
How'd you know that? How'd you know that they weren't confident?
So if they're asking about, do you have any funky ingredients, or would that make me sleepy, or would that does it have too much caffeine, or is this safe for pregnant women, for example? So and on the other hand, we had so many people who loved our product, right? They subscribe to it, they buy it again and again. They send us those emails.
If we get 5 sales a day, 2 of them are going to be raving ass fans.
Yeah.
Which I think what gave me conviction on the brand before I ever met you was I noticed that 30 to 40% of people who took it loved it, which is a very high percentage. 60% on just about any supplement are like, I saw a little lift, or I didn't like it, or it tastes bad. It does taste bad. But like 30% raving fans on a supplement is ridiculously high. I'm sorry, I cut you off, but it was really good news when that happened. So you were seeing that via the email submissions coming in.
We saw the emails. I was getting Facebook messages, but the only thing we haven't done was to communicate these testimonials and reviews to everybody else.
Now, you mentioned that you hooked up the customer support to your phone. Yeah. Why hadn't you done that before?
I honestly thought that was not what you're supposed to do as a brand CEO.
Bingo.
I was just in love with that position. I was used to that position that I almost forgot what it is like to be at a grind. And
yes.
Yeah. And I just had to be more humble, I would call it, and enjoy the process, or at least tell myself that I enjoy the process. That was before it happened. But then I remember telling you that I was so excited about these tasks.
Once you started doing them.
Once I started doing it, like reading those emails, like my team started telling me, hey, if you want to answer those emails, just let us know. I mean, but right now, like, we don't know that we need to answer them, or you answer them. Like, you know what? Let me just answer them. So for a couple of weeks, I was the only one answering emails, collecting reviews. That was my personal email that all the messages got back to whenever we emailed our list. So that was one thing. The other thing that I got super excited and was super helpful was to send personalized videos to all of our customers. So everyone who received the product got a personal video from me about 3 to 7 days after they received the product. And I never asked for anything. I just thanked them for their purchase and asked for their feedback. And the results from having, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes a day were just, I was so amazed by how much we could get with this small task. But I think it's a relatively small task, but mentally, it's just hard for you to accept.
Yeah, of course.
As an entrepreneur, as a brand founder, as a CEO, whatever you want to call it, that's what you need to be doing.
Yeah, very, very well said. That's the grind, right? When I first introduced the idea of the grind in 2014. Yeah. And I said, when you're in the grind, your job is to get 25 reviews. Yeah. However you can. That means you need to order pizza 25 times, have the guy buy your product on Amazon, and then tip him extra. Yeah. Whatever it takes. You just got to get to 25 reviews. Now it's more like 50 to 100 at least. Yeah. Runs pay-per-click ads and actually pay attention to the people who are showing up. And people will say, well, I'm not getting much feedback. Are you getting any feedback? Well, a few emails. Great. Send some video testimonials to those emails, right? Yeah. And I don't know what I said that clicked for you, that you were just like, oh, there's no like system to build. It's just being in the grind. As soon as you have that, it's like, oh, the grind is freaking awesome. Like, it's so much fun. Yeah. Because all these micro tasks, like building a system for something, you don't see direct, meaningful feedback from that. Yeah. But when you're in the grind working with customers, you just...
Exactly.
It's like why I love coaching calls, because I can give somebody feedback and their business changes. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah. You can see the expression on their face that it's just changing.
Speaking of expression on the face, what do you think of the root beer?
It's good. It's it's good.
Ooh, that's how an Israeli says it's crap.
I'm sorry.
You're not a root beer fan?
Not yet. But I think there are many things in America that I was not a fan of, and I just had to accept, and I'll think of my list soon.
Can you think of any of them? The one that I hear the most complaints about is when people say "have a good day."
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Americans say "have a good day" all the time. It drives me crazy. I'm like when I'm in the elevator. And I went up 4 floors with somebody, and the door opens, and the guy turns to me and says, "Have a good day." I'm like, we did not have a meaningful interaction.
Okay, so I'll tell you my version of it.
Okay.
So the first time I arrived in Austin, I was telling my friend, people here are so nice. I live in LA, by the way. So I was telling my friends, people here are so nice. When they tell you, like, have a good morning, they actually mean it. Like, they actually want you to have a good morning, as opposed to people in LA who are like, have a good morning. And they don't really want to even interact with you, but you just have to because they're American, right? So yeah, that's my version of it.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. You mean in Texas? They actually mean it.
In Austin, yeah. I mean,
that's true. Yeah. That is true. So, what we have not crossed 25 sales a day yet inside of Switch, but that conversation was like 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Yep.
We've had some $800 days. Mm-hmm. $900 days. I don't know. Have we had our first $1,000 day?
No.
We come really close. Like
that's very annoying. We're like, we have 800-900, but we haven't crossed the 1,000.
Okay, we're getting there.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we both saw a surge of energy when we launched the second product.
Yep.
Would you grab that for a second for anybody watching?
Placement? Yeah.
For product placement. Yeah. So you disagreed with me. Actually, several people, yourself, even Inez, was very upset with me that I put my foot down and named it Killswitch. And then, you liked Killswitch, but you didn't like the tagline.
Yes.
You thought I was too aggressive.
Yes.
And Inez thought I was too aggressive with the Killswitch name. But I put my foot down, and I'm glad I put my foot down.
Yes. I'm glad to.
So the product is called Killswitch, Sleep Like You're Dead. And originally, Inez was like, don't call it Killswitch. That's so aggressive. And I think you nudged me. You were like, entrepreneurs who have their minds racing all the time want to take something that's going to knock them out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I wanted.
Right.
I tried so many things. And yeah, I mean, it's again, just talking to your audience. If that was a product for like moms or, just general population, like you see all of the other supplements and nootropics.
Yeah.
And it's all so soft and it's all so like dreamy and fun, but it's
happy Z's.
Yeah, but you you look at it and like,
wake up cheerful.
It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work, right? And you can't go wrong.
That's just so true.
Right. I mean, it might taste
Enter
good.
Killswitch.
Yeah.
Sleep like someone shot you in the face.
That's what I want.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Do that for me.
Yeah. And when it does what you promise, that's where you build a brand.
Yeah.
A very good brand.
And it actually does.
It does.
I mean, I can't tell you how many. I get Facebook messages from people that are like, "Dude, I thought you were kidding about Killswitch.
Yep.
I slept for 9.5 hours.
Yeah.
I almost went to the emergency room. I slept so long." Like Stan at the NFT event, like slept through the first meeting.
Yeah.
His first time trying Killswitch, and he's like, I overslept. We know, Stan. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. So that's where I figured like we have to communicate those testimonials to other people.
Totally.
I believe that this procrastination of trying to do other things is just you being there's some I would say low confidence in what you're doing.
I get that.
That you're afraid of the response, right?
100%. It's an avoid. It's like the brain's creative way of procrastinating to avoid looking stupid.
Yeah. It's like asking, everybody, how do I look today? Right. And then you're afraid of the answer.
Yeah.
Right. So you just don't ask.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that's so true. And like, I've done it too, because if you if you are working on something, then you always have a reason and excuse of why the business hasn't taken off.
Yep, exactly.
Like how's Killswitch going? How's Switch going? Well, we're working on some processes, right?
Yep.
It's just a way of buffering the answer, which is not well.
Yeah. And I think you asked what got me so like what was the aha moment when we had that conversation. And I think that's something in those lines where you said it might just be procrastination. So
I said that to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started journaling about that and I think that entrepreneurship is just the best self-development program out there.
Of course.
Right. And I was starting to see, like, is this really procrastination? Like, what am I trying to avoid? What am I trying to not do? And it's not just, sending emails. It's not just doing videos. It doesn't take so long. It's just about probably the response is something that you might be afraid of. Right.
Yeah.
And when you said, you know what, I don't care about the response. I will take that as a self-growth experiment for myself. It's not even the brand. It's like me. And when I started doing it, I changed my mindset around it. Suddenly I couldn't care about the result. I only cared about, like, I want to overcome this procrastination.
That's beautiful.
And when I overcame it, suddenly it's not even getting 25 reviews. It's getting just 3 reviews, because those 3 reviews will get you the motivation that you need to get
That's
the
right.
other 3 reviews.
That's right.
That's how it builds.
And that's why the grind is the best part.
Yeah.
Because you get a dopamine hit for every review.
Yeah.
You get a dopamine hit for every piece of feedback.
Yeah.
You don't get that when you're building processes for things.
Yeah.
You don't.
Or not even, checking Shopify stats, because it's just numbers. But when you have one-on-one interaction with customers, that's just so fun. And I just decided that I will flip my schedule. And so far, it was, up until that call, this was the last thing that I would do. And I probably never get there. Like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. And, I'm like swamped. I like wiped out. Now, that's the first thing that I do in the morning. And when I do it, I get immediate success out of it, because I get those replies. And then it just gives me so much energy for the day.
Totally.
That's so fun.
That's what's so great about the grind is you don't have anything else to do except that.
Yeah.
I think about capitalism. I was thinking today what I should be focusing on. Like I know the answer, but my brain has to ping pong like around 9 different projects and 9 different things, and the Slack and the team of 7 and the Capcom. Like I have to ping pong around to find what I need to focus on again. But when you're starting a new brand, the only thing to do is talk to leads and to talk to customers and turn them into reviews and to show everybody else the reviews.
Yep.
And when you do it, oh, look, 6 weeks go by and you got 50 reviews, which no one cares about except you, but it's just enough to move the needle to like 10 sales a day or 15 sales a day. When I was writing, I got this piece of feedback from a member of the incubator. When I launched my book, I was on a coaching call and I was sitting at 55 reviews on my book, maybe 2 weeks after launch or something. So May of 2020. And I was on this coaching call and I was like, hey, everybody, how many of you bought my book? Just wave at me. And, 30 hands go up. And I was like, first of all, thank you so much. It means so much to me that you follow my work, that you paid the $26 to buy my book around launch day. Did you find it valuable? Leave your hand up if like it inspired you in some way. Hands stay up. Would you do me the joy of leaving me a review? It would mean the world to me. I understand this is an ask of your time, but please do it. I would love to go from 55 to 60 reviews. and it did. And today has, between Audible and Amazon, it has like almost 4,000 reviews.
Wow.
But someone told me that they were on that call and they said, watching Ryan have to go into the dirt and beg for reviews like everybody else made me say, well, I mean, if he's willing to do it, I guess I should be willing to do it too.
That's a good point.
And if you just took on the challenge of, hey, you have to go get 100 reviews. How do I do that? I don't care. I don't care how you do it. Well, can you tell me how? No. Just go get them. You'd figure out a way.
Yeah.
And most people just don't figure out a way, and they come up with complicated processes and they wait for the machine to kick in. It's like, no, just go talk to people.
Yeah.
And you're doing that.
That's the only thing that you also can't buy, right? If you want them to be authentic.
Yeah. Right.
You can't buy it. I mean, you can technically buy Amazon reviews if you want to be in the gray line, but it will never work as someone just flipping their phone and shooting a very low quality video of them holding your product and telling how they like it.
Yeah.
No influencer, no, UGC creator, no all of it. Like, you can't fake that. And this is why I think it's so hard for most entrepreneurs, because we are just used to spend money on agencies and ads and all of that. But in reality, the one thing that will convince someone to buy your product is someone who looks like them, that holding your product and telling how much you like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Before we wrap, I want to talk briefly about how even a small brand like Switch, how you're stretching every piece of content, because you've used a few of those video reviews and turned them into like ads that we run, and we get conversions from them, we get comments from them, and then you reach out to the next customer, you get a review from them, and like you start to feed the machine. I was hoping you could talk a little bit about how you're intentionally stretching each piece of feedback that you're getting.
I think that's also one thing that is missing for many brand founders. They know they need to get reviews or testimonials, but they don't really know why they need to do that. And this, I think the number one thing that you need to have as a new brand or any brand is social proof. And if you can use those testimonials and reviews and just repurpose them in every single way, sending them on emails, on your welcome flows, as ads, on your social media, it just feeds the system.
Right.
Just as an example, our best ads are just video testimonials of our customers. Once they get fatigued, we just re-edit them together. Yeah. And now we have a new ad. Or
we have new submissions from the last batch of people who sent us feedback. Yeah.
The other thing, we are reaching out to micro influencers to try our product. To be honest, I did it for a few brands, but Switch was the only one that was not getting responses. And we tried to figure out why. And the moment we started posting our customer testimonials on our social pages, or our Instagram page, we started getting responses from influencers.
That's interesting.
Because they had the confidence that they're going to talk about something that other people have tried.
Yeah,
right?
And that's
not a new brand.
So that's so important what you just said, because it might have been 8 people. Right?
It is. It's like 6.
Okay, so there's 6 people on the Switch Instagram of video testimonials, and most people be like, "It's only 6 reviews. My life is over." But we're like, "But those were actually that converted a few micro influencers to talk about us, and they did videos about it, which becomes an ad, which becomes a piece of the Amazon listing, which becomes a retargeting ad, and so the whole machine is starting to feed, and it's still only like 9 people. But that's all it takes. And most people just aren't willing to go get the 9 because they're thinking about the fact that they don't have 50.
That they need 900. Exactly.
Yep.
And it's so easy to get those. I think you should even lower the bar, not think about 25, because it sounds like a lot when you just get started. Think about getting 3, right? If you have 3, you can create maybe 10 to 15 different pieces of content out of those 3 reviews. You can turn them into text, screenshots, video reels, all of it, like emails. You can do so much of it. Oh yeah, this brand is legit. That's what you need people to think. That's the only thing you need people to think.
Well, this conversation would not be complete if we didn't do a selfish plug for Switch.
Yep.
Would you hold up that beautiful white and purple bottle right there?
Yep. Yeah. So
Killswitch.
this is
Sleep like you're
Killswitch.
dead.
And you can just imagine like we have on switch here, but Ryan loves it so much that he carries it with you.
I
with him everywhere.
literally did today. I took it this morning and I left it at home.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. But if you
That's
want
how
yours,
much I love on Switch.
you can get
How do
yours.
you feel when you take this?
This
You just held it up like an infomercial. You're like, this product right here is amazing.
I mean, okay. So no, so Killswitch, I think it's really my favorite product. And it's not just like it's not just my own opinion, but like
you are biased,
I am
but you
biased.
still love it.
I am biased. And this is why, that's funny because I rarely talk about how I like it just because it just doesn't sound legit. But
Well, it's just like me saying that my son is the cutest 3-year-old in the world.
yeah,
Like,
but
I legitimately think so,
But this
but
is
I'm
why-
biased.
But this is why we have so many video testimonials and we collect them. So it's not Ryan and Tomer saying this. This is everybody else. No, but really, I mean, we thought that, if I would know that, we'd probably start with Killswitch as our first product. OnSwitch is amazing, but I think Killswitch just, people know why they need to take it and they can easily feel if it's working or not, right? Like, did I sleep through the night? Did I not sleep through the night?
Actually, will you hand me the bottle real quick? So this was the first product that I didn't know none of the formulation. Like, I was not involved in this formulation process. And when you sent me the lineup, it was like, I kind of cocked my head to the side because it was like, nobody had done it like this before. Like, I've been in the supplement world for a long time. And so I know a good product when I see it. And this one, I had to put my pen down and be like, that's interesting, because it was different. And I wasn't sure if I would like it. And the first time I tried Killswitch, first of all, I thought it tasted great, which I wasn't expecting because OnSwitch tastes so bad.
Yeah.
It tastes like a donkey pooped in its, no, a monkey pooped in its own hand and then ate it and burped.
A monkey, not a donkey. That's important.
No analogy's perfect, but it was some crossbreed between a donkey. It doesn't matter. Anyway. So, and then I went into it, and I was like, actually, this is really interesting. And then I started tracking it with my Oura Ring, and you started tracking it with your Whoop data.
Yep.
And we were like, oh, we have something here because we can see it in the data.
Yep.
And that was really exciting. Just from a formulation standpoint, which, oh, by the way, just marketing tip, if you can show something that is demonstrative, meaning you can show proof of it working within a few seconds, meaning something gets clean, or you show a before and after photo of a diet, like anything that you can demonstrate, those are the highest converting ads. So when we saw that the Whoop data was incredible, we were like, oh, we have something demonstrative that we can run as ads.
Yeah.
But I was curious, I've never got to ask you this question, why you went with tart cherry in the formula.
Yeah. So the formulator that we were working with, he was very convicted on tart cherry as the source for melatonin.
So that converts into melatonin.
Yes.
Whereas most sleep supplements are just straight melatonin.
Exactly. Yeah.
So my interpretation of this is that your body converts it slowly, which means that, like, if I take regular melatonin, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like ready to go.
Yep.
Like at 3 o'clock. I fall asleep, but I wake up at 3 o'clock. But this is it true that this just gets converted slowly as a result of being tart cherry?
I don't want to mistaken and just state
We're
something
not
on
doctors,
the record.
but
Yeah, just as a disclaimer, I'm just how do you say it? I'm just
some dude that you follow on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I know, which is the important part, is that whenever people take melatonin, they report they feel groggy, they have weird dreams, they wake up in the middle of the night. That was useful.
He tried so
That's
hard
true.
to hold off that sneeze. He tried so hard to hold off that sneeze. Keep going.
Probably means something, right?
Keep going. Leave it in.
All right.
Leave that in.
And
He's allergic to bullshit. He's like, oh, those claims about sleep. I'm allergic. They're pitching Killswitch now. I'm
not again. Anyway, So, and people actually, some of them didn't know that we have melatonin. Like, I love it so much. I slept through the night, but whenever I take melatonin, I just feel really groggy. And like, actually, we have melatonin in Killswitch. But like, oh, no way. I mean, I felt really refreshed in the morning.
But is there melatonin, or is it just the tart cherry that gets converted into melatonin?
B. Option B.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not straight melatonin in here. There's tart cherry, which converts as like after 30 minutes of being in your body starts to convert to melatonin, which I would think, not a doctor, I would think would convert more slowly, which is why you don't have that crazy experience like you would have.
I tell you one other fun fact about it. When we were shopping for a different manufacturer, he asked us, like, why do you use tart cherry? I mean, it's so much harder to source and it's way more expensive. And like, people don't really care if they have melatonin or tart cherry.
Yeah. From a marketing perspective, it doesn't matter. People don't know about it. Yeah.
And I was like, it just works so well and people love it that I don't want to change anything, even if it means like, we're spending a few cents more on this specific ingredient.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's easier, it's cheaper, it's to have straight melatonin. And maybe if I would know the difference ahead of time, I would just choose melatonin. But
if you hadn't known the difference, is that what you said?
If I had known the difference, like if the formulator would say, or the manufacturer would say, this version cost X and this version with the tart cherry cost $1 more.
Yeah.
I was like,
it is significantly
just
more.
Take the regular melatonin, But yeah, this one just works so well.
It does. I mean, even Inez has said she can't take melatonin, and she didn't know there was melatonin in this.
Yeah.
And she took it, and she now swears by it and carries it around with her.
Yep.
So we're excited to document it. We're gonna be doing this series where we're just documenting what's going on in our projects, what's going on with our businesses, Switch, Sheer Strength, and the other projects that we have going on. So if you enjoyed this format, let us know in the comments or emailing me at ryan@capitalism.com. Tomer, good to see you, man. Onward.
Thanks for the review.
You hated it. That's bullshit marketing right there from Tomer Hen.
Sneeze, please.